we are in a bit of a holding pattern. We're trying to figure out when it's official that the Houston Texans have hired DeMeco Ryans to be their next head coach. We do believe that DeMeco Ryans is leaving San Francisco in a matter of moments. You got that sense on Sunday after the NFC Championship game where the Philadelphia Eagles took down DeMeco Ryans' San Francisco 49ers 28-7. Fred Warner, star linebacker for the Niners, had this to say about Ryans after the game was done.
I hadn't thought about it up to this point because obviously you think you're gonna win it all, but seeing him was emotional. It was the first time it kind of hit me, right, that this was the last one with him, and we came in this thing together. I owe everything to him. He's the reason I'm the player I am today. He's fully deserving to go on and be a head coach. So, it hit hard today for sure.
Fred Warner is, in my opinion, because Micah Parsons is a hybrid. I'm not even sure what position he plays, but Fred Warner is the best traditional inside linebacker in the NFL in 2023. And Fred Warner, you heard him talk about how he wouldn't be the player he was without DeMeco Ryans helping him out. This is a guy who's a third-round draft pick. That is a byproduct of coaching. And there's a lot of things to be excited about with Ryans as a head coach. But there's other things that you got to wonder about. I do think there's an element of fan service involved with Ryans being the favorite of the Houston Texans, because a lot of people are excited about it. Right now, there actually is a little bit of energy around this team. Who would have thought that would happen? But we've got to wait. We have already skeptics and cynics saying, can't wait until he decides to go back to the San Francisco 49ers. It is not indeed official yet. So I want to focus on something else. If you've listened to me long enough, you would know that I don't have a great deal of respect for sports reporters. First off, our job is dumb, right? It is. I'll admit it. I am someone who doesn't take himself very seriously. Perhaps I should take myself a little bit more seriously in life. I have found, though, that a lot of sports reporters tend to take themselves extremely seriously. And it's like, dude, you're not Woodward and Bernstein covering perhaps corruption in the government. You are not in a war-torn country basically risking life and limb every single day to report facts. No, you report on sports. And sports reporting, I think, has gotten worse over the last couple of years because we have gone from reporting things that actually will happen to rumors. And those rumors are enough to keep the hungry mouths full as they search for more and more content. And we've gotten to a point, too, now where the best sports reporters are actually information brokers trading information with teams, organizations, players in exchange for something else, which is why you see tweets from guys like Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport that read like their public relations statement written by an actual agent. That's why it operates that way. But this DeMeco Ryans saga as a potential head coach of the Houston Texans, has it not been hysterical? I know that we have been keeping you abreast of it, and some of you people are probably getting tired of the actual reporting, which I say in quotation marks that's taken place. But let's just go back to January 8th. I'm a fan of Aaron Wilson. Aaron Wilson, though, tweeted this in a story that I think he had for KPRC. According to Aaron Wilson, 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans is not expected to pursue the Texans head coaching job if it becomes available. Ryans has been linked to Houston in recent days as head coach Lovie Smith seems to be in serious danger of being fired, wrote Wilson. But then if you maybe were listening to another interview at maybe the flagship station of the Houston Texans, you would have heard that Nick Caserio essentially denied that. You also might have seen on January 8th from Josina Anderson, who really thinks she is a fantastic reporter. I don't know her personally. I know that she has been rude to one of my good friends personally, so not the biggest fan to begin with. And I do find that most of her reports, where she's constantly patting herself on the back saying, I'm told, are insufferable. But she tweeted this out on January 8th, and this is where it gets tricky when you are a reporter, but you're putting all of a sudden opinion out without seemingly any basis in fact. Tweeted Josina Anderson on that January 8th. I sincerely and curiously wonder which coaches will feel comfortable fulfilling the Rooney Rule in Houston at the moment, even as a credible candidate. I mean, right there, she is essentially saying, yeah, the Texans are just going to bring in a token black coach for an interview or a token minority coach for an interview. She basically said that. And she felt that no one would perhaps want to take the job because they would be of the belief that Josh McCown was ultimately going to get it. That is what she implied right there. That is her reporting. So that's on January 8th. But things have gotten even more fun over the last couple of days. You guys might remember Woody Page. How many of y'all watched Around the Horn, the television show on ESPN back in the day? I grew up watching it. I really enjoyed it. Perhaps I am what's wrong with America. My embracing of that show has enabled the Speak for Your Pizzas and the, the other shows. Emmanuel Acho exists.
Yes, yeah. The fact that Emmanuel Acho has a career is because of Paul Gallant.
Damn.
You did this to yourself. Who did this? Me.
Can we pause for a second? Should I just walk out and end it all? My career. I'm not talking about that. Like, I mean, if I am the reason Emmanuel Acho is in the industry, should I just leave? Should I just give it up?
Yeah, finish out this segment, see how we feel.
All right, cool. We'll finish out this segment. But anyway, the reporting by Woody Page was this. DeMeco Ryans tells the Broncos he is not interested in their coaching job. Page called DeMeco Ryans the team's third number one choice to be head coach of the Broncos. What does that mean? DeMeco Ryans, third number one choice of the Broncos. What?
It's because at every opening press conference, they always go, and, Coach so-and-so, he was our first choice the whole way. And he's saying that, like, no matter who they hire, will not be the first choice.
Right. So, okay. So, and apparently they're in on Jim Harbaugh now. They were in on Sean Payton before. I saw a tweet come out today, courtesy of Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio. Now, I like Mike Florio. I do. But I do think that Mike Florio is sometimes in bed with certain agents. And a tweet that I saw from him today, a report, it said, the Broncos are likely to lose a tug of war with the dysfunctional Texans for DeMeco Ryans. Denver's new owners could easily win the battle for Ryans if they wanted. I guarantee you that Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio, got that from Mark Rogers, super agent for Russell Wilson, who is once again trying to create his own destiny. He wants DeMeco Ryans to be the head coach of the Broncos, probably. He's looking at the guys out there. Do I want to work with Jim Harbaugh, who's going to probably be just as abrasive with me as Pete Carroll? Do I want to work with Sean Payton? Oh, Sean Payton doesn't want to work with me. Well, I want DeMeco Ryans. This 100% smells like Mark Rogers putting that out there. And again, you guys might not know that much about Mark Rogers, but this is the guy who essentially would do all of Russell Wilson's bidding for him as he was trying to get out of Seattle the last couple of years, but in a way where Russell Wilson didn't have to put his name on it. Okay, well, what other reporting is going on with DeMeco Ryans as we wait until, I think 12:15 is when things are supposedly going to happen. On Saturday, Adam Schefter had said the Houston Texans now are expected to pursue 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans to try and make them their next head coach. Wait, they're going to try now to make their head coach as of Saturday? Because a couple of days before that, Ian Rappaport said the Houston Texans have emerged as the strongest candidate to land DeMeco Ryans. Wait, so they just became interested on Saturday? What's going on here? What is happening? We're all over the place, and it's not just like Josina Andersons and Woody Pages. We're talking about Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. No one knows a bleeping thing at this point in time. And then let's just go back to Josina Anderson because, my God, I don't even know what she's been saying over the last couple of days. But it needs to be brought up because she needs to be held accountable for her shoddy journalism. And again, we're covering sports here. The authorization has gone out from ownership to close the deal, per league source. Well, we're all monitoring through the final tape. What? What are you talking about? The final tape? Are we watching film? Are we talking about bureaucracy? Red tape? Film tape? What's going on? Josina also is denying that the Texans are really about to land DeMeco Ryans. I'm told the Denver Broncos have not received notification that DeMeco Ryans has withdrawn from its head coaching search. The organization is continuing the process of evaluating candidates per league source. She, of course, started that report with I'm told. And on Friday, she tweeted this, and I'm like, what? What is this? So with DeMeco Ryans, as mentioned before, with the Texans and now with Denver, what he has to discern, as I'm told, he's heard from some confidants, is if the timing in either situation truly align with him, is it better to wait on an executive I hear he'd like to work with or pick now? What? I read that through 3 times. I still have no idea what is going on there. But these are reporters that are supposedly reporting on what's happening with DeMeco Ryans and the Houston Texans. And look, it does feel like the Texans are on the 1-yard line. And theoretically, they could bleep all of this up. But I feel like the reporting on this entire situation has probably been the funniest part of the Houston Texans coaching search. No one has had a clue the entire time. No one is in with the Nick Caserio camp. No one seems to be really that in with the McNairs at this point in time. And on the other side of things, all the people outside of town had this perception that the Texans coaching job was one of the worst ones available. You know, if you listen to me, I would have told you it was the second best job available. I think a lot of other people would have objectively sat back and said, you know what? They got money. They seem to have blown some of the things out that were a big problem in the recent past. They're heading in another direction. Doesn't mean that they're great. I mean, they're one of the places that has a head coaching gig available. But it's kind of funny to see where we have come to. It has just been 3 weeks wandering around through the fog, grasping at whatever we can, having no idea what's going on until the last couple of days. So, for all those who perhaps are very into, following the reports of NFL reporters, these last 3 weeks should have you thinking long and hard about what you trust, what you believe, and who you listen to.